Grüßt euch. Welcome to our 5th video in the Common Classroom Errors series. Luckily this one's a little bit shorter than the last one. A couple things. When we're translating our thoughts from English, sometimes we don't always have the same words. So one of those instances I want to point out here, we just say Ich habe Kopfweh, or Ich habe Bauchweh, Ich habe Fieber. So there's no A in there. Not I have a stomachache, a headache, like we'd say in English, but we just don't have the A there. Ich habe Fieber, Ich habe Kopfweh. Then, this word in German is a little bit tricky because there are a couple things going on here. We have this, which we call the reflexive, and we see in German, in the vocabulary list, we always write sich if it's a reflexive. That doesn't necessarily mean sich's going to be in the sentence, but it shows us that there needs to be a reflexive there. So what is a reflexive, I think, is the natural question that comes up. The reflexive means that in a sentence we have to say who we're doing that action to. So if we compare it to English, we use my a lot. Like we might say, I'm going to wash my hands, I'm going to brush my teeth. And if we really think about that sentence, it's kind of unusual, right? Why do we need to specify when I'm going into the bathroom that I'm going to go brush my teeth? Are there someone else's teeth in there that I'm going to brush? Am I going to go wash somebody else's hands? But we still add that reflexive in there to show who the action's happening to. In German, we do the same thing, but we use sich instead of my. And the sich might have different forms. The one that we're going to use when we are talking about ourself is going to be mich, so keep that in mind. And then ausruhen is also, again, has another tricky part, because it's one of those separable prefix verbs, which we don't really have in English, but the prefix in a lot of German verbs separates from the word and goes to the end of the sentence. So here we have our stem of the word, and then we have our prefix. So we have the aus going at the end. In English, the closest we have to that is sort of when we use the phrase have on to talk about wearing something. And think about the on as that prefix that goes to the end. I have shorts on. I have shorts and a shirt on. I have shorts, shoes, a hat, and glasses on. That on is always going to the end of the sentence. So that on is doing the same thing as the prefix does here. So, sich ausruhen, you look at your vocabulary list, it says, to relax. So to say I relax, it'll end up looking like this. Ich ruhe mich aus. So remember, ich, because we're talking about ourselves, our verb goes second. We have our ending changed to match up with the ich. Here we have our reflexive, who's that action happening to, and that's kind of confusing because in English we don't use a reflexive there, but in German we do. And then we have our separable prefix all the way at the end. Okay, danke. Ciao.